Howdy there, I'm that indie games guy, and if you're here, then you're exactly like me. You love indie games and want to know what games will be coming out in the future. Or if you're watching this from the future, games that have already been released. This video, I'll explore a whole list of indie games that are set to be released shortly. These could be games you've already wishlisted, or unknown gems. Let me know in the comments below if you like the look of any of these games, and let the video commence. Simulator games are slowly going to replace real life. You've heard it here first. I'm pretty sure we have a simulator for everything at this point, so if something new is released in the future, colour me shocked. This is Denizen, a life sim RPG, where you get to make a life for yourself in a city full of opportunities. This open world game will allow you to try new jobs, get out and speak to the locals. This is definitely one of those game things. I've never just walked up to someone in town and said, hey, do you want to chat? And back to the game, you can live a life that you might not be able to experience in the real world. Like I say, a simulator for everything, even life now. These games allow you to just head out and see what crazy stuff you can get up to. You can go out and start a new career and see how far up the chain that you can get. Why not make your own business and aim to get those sales and be your own boss? Why not just see where life takes you? Just forget about the normal daily worries, kick back on the beach with a pina colada. This is all about trying something new, and the game will allow you to do a lot of things you normally can't get up to in your daily life. Denizen is being released into early access, allowing the developers time to really push the game as far as they can take it, and give us more events and activities to try out. If you end up playing the game and making your own business, let me know and I'll send you over my CV so I can get a job. The name of this title really drew me in. I thought, what's the crack with this game? Is it a game about pirates due to all that booty? Am I even on Steam anymore with all that twerking? I'd say the best way to describe what you see in front of you is that the thicker they are, and that's thick with 2 C's, then the better they'll be for this game's title. This is Spanky, and no, it's not an 18+ game. This is a party-based physics game that's all about making sure you jiggle and bounce your way through, protecting your booty whilst hunting those juicy trunks in front of you. Customize your jiggler to make sure yours stands out from the crowd and is basically begging to be spanked by the other competitors. Bounce your way through multiple different levels, proving your butt is a 10 out of 10, as you'll need to push, shove and spank your way to victory. Let's be honest here, you're at least a little curious about this game, and me, I'm not surprised. I bet you've not even listened to a word I've said due to all the booty movement on the screen. Spanky is a light-hearted fun party game that isn't to be taken seriously at all, and I'm sure if you grab some friends you'll just be having a laugh all night while playing this. The idea of the very end screen in this game in that 1v1 of someone being mega spanked is just hilarious. Make sure you add some cushions if you're afraid of the sting that you'll get afterwards. Roguelikes are being released each and every week. They are probably the most released genre of game that we see, but we always want to see something new, something fresh with these games. And if I say balls to you, well, after the last game about spanking, you might be thinking this is the wrong list. Get your head out the gutter. This is Footgun Underground, a randomly generated roguelike, where you'll be playing football or soccer depending where you're from, and fighting in a strange post-apocalyptic world in a beautiful pixel graphic setting. After being awoken from a cryogenic capsule, very Futurama, the first thing that catches your eye is that you now have a robotic leg and a football. It's at this point that you put 2 and 2 together to make 10, as you'll have to master the ball if you're to survive this hellhole. A lot of weird creatures stand between you and the finish line. Start by just using your leg and the ball to get through, but slowly you'll be able to upgrade to unlock devastating powers that'll make this whole area seem like the Sunday League. Fight your way through the map, picking your own path, unlocking new abilities and powers, and kick balls into freedom. Footgun Underground is adding something new to the genre. Yes, you might be thinking it's just a football, but this physics-based movement and having to play around whilst picking it up again to kick it Strategy seems to play a major part in this game, and the learning curve just seems a little extra. I can't wait to get kicking. Holy moly, is this game sexy. I'm a massive sucker for pixel graphics, and this had me glued to the screen when looking over it. There is just something about the movement and the fluidity of the characters that make me appreciate this game so much more. This is Let Bions Be Bygones, a story-driven point-and-click adventure, where you'll play as a retired detective, tasked with one final job to save an upper-class girl who seems to be in a lower-class area of a futuristic city. Remember the slums in Cyberpunk? I'm talking about that kind of area. Anything that you can think probably happens in this city, it does, and you'll likely see it for yourself. This story is written by you. Each and every choice that you make will matter to the main storyline, and you will most likely not get the ending you hoped for the first time around. I normally try my best and hope for a good/better ending before doing a second run for all the bad endings. Always the good guy before the bad guy. Time can often be man's best friend, or their worst enemy, and luckily, in Let Bions Be Bygones, time will be your friend. There are no timed missions and no time limits. You'll literally have all the time in the world to solve this case. Why not just go for a drink and put your feet up? I'm sure the client won't mind. But I absolutely loved this. So many games have you rushing and you might make a mistake. But here, you'll have more than enough time to gather everything that you need and really make sure that you dot every I and cross all T's. Let Bions Be Bygones is giving us a stunning look into what the future could hold, but it's giving us something from the past as well. A detective noir vibe? We're getting two different timelines merging together, and that gets me really excited. This will be a unique experience for most the first time around. Let's all enjoy this trip. I know they're still around, but Tamagotchis were absolutely massive in the early 2000s. People would bring them into school to make sure that they could feed them, play with them, and raise them. It basically had kids becoming parents, and I can imagine a lot of those little Tammers haven't been fed in a good 20 years. Should we call some kind of health department on them? I'm not too sure what we do. This is Yolk Heroes, a long Tamago, and it's basically Tamagotchi but for us adults. This is an idle time management game, where you've been tasked with raising the next hero to slay the Dark One. Raise your hero from an egg to the slayer of evil. Part idle management of your hero and part RPG, you'll need to raise your hero from a wee baby all the way up to becoming strong enough to battle any force of evil. This includes cleaning your hero when they get messy from all that slaying, training them to become stronger, educating them on the world and the tasks at hand, and lastly, make sure that they have the best equipment to survive in this cruel environment. As a guardian spirit, you'll need to do all in your power to make it as easy as possible for the hero. Travel the lands and fight in the RPG section, completing quests and most importantly, saving the world. Yolk Heroes, a long Tamago, is raising a long forgotten classic, and adding in the RPG element to make this idle game more exciting. A lot of us might feel that nostalgia hit when playing. Tamagotchis played a big part of my childhood, so this definitely has piqued my interest. Being published by the gaming channel The Yogscast, they've slowly started to build up a library of games over the last few years. This time we have something that's taking the tower defense format and giving us a little extra. This is Hexguardian, a roguelike tower defense game where you'll get to build your own map with hexagonal tiles. Build a map that will make life easier for yourself and the units that you build, as if you don't, you might just be giving the key to the enemies attacking your base. Probably not a smart idea. This is a roguelike. They aren't going to give you all the pieces to the puzzle from the start. Start with nothing but basic troops and buildings. Each run will provide you with points that you can use to upgrade them in later runs, to make them harder, better, faster, and of course, stronger. Very much like in Civilization, you'll be able to build wonders to power your people and provide new abilities and powers which seem straight out of this world. Hexguardian will be a marathon, not a sprint, as you'll need to slowly get better at the game to unleash your true potential by the end. Some even say it might be over 9,000. Tower defense games are fantastic, and this will fit nicely into your collection if you're in the market for one. This is one of those on the fence if you'd class it as an indie game. It's being published by Paradox Interactive, so I'd probably say it pushes more towards not being an indie game, but it looks awesome and it's the developer's first ever game, so I'm going to showcase it anyway. This is Foundry, a base building game that is all about making things as automated as possible. I know for a fact we've had a massive spike in games that's all about being a robot or AI building something for us. Is this just the sign of the future? Foundry is all about automating your ever-growing facility and researching your way through multiple different stages of development. You'll play as a little robot who just loves to make and break things, the definition of chaotic good. You'll need to head out into this fully breakable voxel environment to find the goodies you need to build certain machines to help make all the other automated dreams come true. I'm not the best at these types of games. Heck, I'm probably even more of a liability to the whole facility, so co-op is a fantastic addition. It means that I can go off and explore while I leave the people with brains to figure out how to build this complex machine. As long as I'm not within 50 meters, I'm pretty confident I won't break it. Foundry might not be an indie game due to being published by Paradox, but I have massive hopes for Channel 3 Entertainment. This is their first game and it already looks so good. Early access will be the perfect fit for this game, to learn and grow with the community. We all get to show off how awesome we can be when we put our minds to making whatever we want. The rise of co-op survival games this past year has been amazing for us gamers. Lethal Company, Content Warning, and even the Backrooms have opened the door for similar games that want to showcase different sides or aspects to these strange areas. This is Abiotic Factor, a survival experience that has taken the greatest minds in the world and put them into a strange facility named Gate. As a Gate employee, you'll need to seek out the anomalies and the unknown knowledge of the universe. There is a high percentage of death, but you don't have to worry about that. Just think of all the cool knowledge that you'll gain at this new job. A breach turns your workplace into a hunting ground for all the strange creatures that you've been capturing in your 9-to-5 job. Travel back in this 90s inspired environment that you can explore with your friends in this open world map. Select your scientist and your PhD before you start, so you'll know exactly what your scientist specialises in, and now it's pretty much time to just survive. You'll need to salvage for supplies and resources, build yourself a little home away from home, and using all your knowledge of the universe, make weapons to fight back against the monsters looking for their next meal. You're not a soldier, you're a scientist, remember. You can't just go gun-ho and hope for the best. Abiotic Factor is being released into early access, and I must say I'm really impressed with the roadmap that we have been given. They have detailed out lots of updates from maps, weapons, new science things that do science stuff, and they wish to work with us, the people playing the game, as we'll be the ones helping shape the future. Happy surviving to my fellow scientists. Let's make Gate great again. Some games give so many genre trigger words you don't quite know what the game will be like until you boot it up yourself or watch someone else play the game. This is Mareld, an anime card-driven roguelike RPG. Now, after hearing that description, you'll probably have a vision in your head, but throw it out the window, as this is all about being lost in a forest, having to survive off the lands by placing cards on a situation block for automatic gathering, finding other lost souls, and trying to get back to reality. The card-driven aspect is you being able to place these down on the situations you find yourself in, but these cards can be used by combining them together with other cards or with the people that you find along the way, and they'll most likely give you a new card which will be better than the one you had. You aren't the only ones lost in these woods. Head out and find them so they can join your group to offer new cards and abilities to help each and every person escape. As that's the aim, this forest won't be the end of you. You will escape! Mareld is all about using your resources wisely, whilst trying to survive and better the situation that you're in. I love the idea of using cards to get more cards, and I'm hopeful that I will be able to get more out of this experience. And that's the end of the list of some indie games being released this week. Let me know in the comments if you're looking at picking any of these games up, or if you've seen other games that I might have missed. And thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you all next time. Bye bye!